My name is Micah.
My name is Sharesa.
We've been attending BCN for a few months now. So it was Father's Day. We had just come out of church. I came out into the parking lot. We noticed a family out there that was in need.
They were holding up a sign and it said, father of 5 needs help. So I immediately went over to them and I started talking to them. And there was a little bit of a language barrier. English was definitely not their first language, but I noticed that they had several kids in the van. And I said, what do you need? Do you need, snacks? Do you need food? I noticed that there were 2 babies in the van. I said, do you need diapers? Do you need wipes? Do you need formula? Then the mother finally said, yes, we need all of that. So we quickly drove to Walmart and loaded up. I bought all the formula that they had in stock of the special kind of formula the baby needed because she was only 2 weeks old. And then they couldn't believe everything that we had brought back to them.
So once I got them in contact with somebody that could, find out a little more information from us, we found out that they lived in California, that they had to drive to New York to appear in immigration court. That's all I really know about that. But then on the way back, they went into labor and they essentially got stuck in Ohio. They were waiting for the birth certificate, and when it came down to Father's Day, this guy had nothing left. They had spent their last dime on getting the vehicle to where it was drivable, because I guess it had broken down further. And, this was his kind of final cry for help to God, if you will. So I was able to get in touch with the church, and they were able to come alongside and support us, which allowed us to get the repairs they needed for their vehicle and get them on the road. And we had met them Father's Day Sunday, and we had them on the road by Friday evening, and they let us know on the next Tuesday that they'd made it safely to California. And so I had my coworker, my friend, call them to be able to speak in Spanish with them to make sure that they were good, they had everything they needed. And so he shared with my coworker that he was at the lowest point that he'd ever been, and this was his last cry out to God to give him an answer before he took matters into his own hands, and we saved his life. That was his words.
It's easy for me because whenever I was little, my mom was a single parent and she lost her job. And she went into a deep depression, and she was in and out of psych wards, mental hospitals, whatever you want to call them. And so from the time that I was 13 till the time that I was 17, I was homeless. I was living under bridges. I was eating out of trash cans. I was homeless. I know what it's like to be at the end of your rope. I know what it's like to cry out to God, wondering where your next meal is coming from when you haven't eaten for days. So for me, whenever I see something like that, it's not an option for me to walk by it.
Unfortunately, the 2 of us have had very abusive pasts. So we've certainly had our share to kind of come through and overcome. The part about the parable of the Good Samaritan that speaks to me is the part that says, and then a despised Samaritan came by and had compassion. And what that tells me is, my translation is, and then somebody came by who really understood what it felt and what it meant to be in that position, to be beaten and robbed, and had compassion. And so the biggest question people like to ask is, why do bad things happen to good people? And the question we should be asking is, how can I move forward from this, and whose life is God going to change through my compassion because of what I was able to recover and heal from?